Well, tonight, the Rutherford County Library is without a director after her controversial firing. The former director was let go last night after refusing to relocate LGBTQ-themed books to the adult section. Jordan James reports her termination is sparking backlash.
A contentious meeting Monday ended with Rutherford County Library Director Luanne James being removed, evoking passion on both sides. Controversy is brewing across Rutherford County after the firing of Luanne James.
We need more leaders like Miss James in our community that are willing to stand up and do the right thing.
She refused to move 132 books designated as inappropriate for children to another section of the library since they had LGBTQ themes, so the board voted her out. Ahead of that decision, board chair Cody York said in a statement, quote, "When a director refuses to carry out a duly adopted board decision, it undermines the governance of the institution and cannot be ignored." James cited the First Amendment as her reasoning not to take action. Decision Carrie Lambert of the Rutherford County Library Alliance says she supports.
If you're telling me you don't want your kids reading these books, good for you. I support your decision 100%. Do not give those books to your children. But don't tell me what books my children can or can't read.
Now, as a result of this decision, James said in a statement she's exploring legal options. At this point in time, it's unclear who will take her place. Also, if these books will be removed. Reporting here in Murfreesboro, Jordan James, WSMV4.